material things don't mean much after you've gone through that kind of experience that all of us went through last night at that place. I was just fixing to go to bed, and the alarm went off. Now, we've had some alarms go off there in the past, and they haven't been anything. They come out and fix it. But something told me that time of night, of course, we automatically do it anyway. So I got part dressed and grabbed my purse, and we have been told to go out our door when the alarm goes off, go to the nearest exit, which is down at the end of the hallway, a long hallway, one on each side, and then go down the stairs, which for me is 10 floors. For some it's 16 floors.
Whoa.
And so I opened my door, but from the time that the alarm went off until I opened that door to go to the stairs, it wasn't long. It was long enough for me to get my purse, and I opened it up and was immediately hit by the smoke and the soot, and it was impossible to see. I started choking, and then I heard a lady, one of my neighbors, screaming, "Help me, help me. Someone help me, I can't breathe." And I hollered back, "Where are you? Where are you?" And she said, "Come get me." But I couldn't breathe. I could not do it. I tried. And so all I could do at that point was get my door shut, but the smoke was coming in under the door. I thought about trying to get to the bathroom and wetting a bath towel to put over my face and maybe at the door, but I couldn't even stay in there. So I went out to the balcony, or terrace balcony, and I called my daughter. This is her house. And I said, "Jolene, get here. We've got problems. There's a fire here." And so my son happened to be over here, and they jumped in the car with my granddaughter, and they came over. By that time, the fire trucks had arrived, and they were, I can't even tell you how many, up and down the street, and in that small street that's between Mount Rubidoux Manor and Dale Center, the senior center, and the park next to it. And I also screamed at them. I don't know if they heard me, but I was trying to say I'm positive it's on the 10th floor is where it started. Because when I opened that door, not only was it pitch black, but I could see flames out there. And so I felt like that was where the problem was.
Right, right.
And I called 911 and told them that it was on the 10th floor. Now, I can't tell you whether they heard me or not, because I heard no reply, because there was too many sirens, and I'm screaming too. You know, the best laid plans, you think, okay, what would happen if a fire broke out there? I've thought about that so much. But when you hear that alarm, and when the time comes, you're at the mercy of what happens, what other people can do to help you at that time. And I did some screaming myself, I'm sure. Help us, I remember. Help us, please help us. I could not go back in my apartment. And then the man next to me, he started to come out, and then he turned around and went back in, and I told him, I said, don't go back in that apartment. Get out here. This is our only chance. And then I was also looked down toward 10th Street, and I saw two women. And that apartment was so filled with smoke. I'm amazed, frankly, that anyone survived this fire. It's a miracle. And I'm not ashamed to say, thank you, God. It was terrible because you have no rope. You have nothing to repel yourself down the side of that thing. Not that I could, but at the moment, if I'd had it, I probably would have been doing something like that. I continued to hear somebody screaming. And then my daughter, I was on the phone. I had my phone. I didn't even realize I was still on it. Mom, it's okay. We're here. And she said, look down. You'll see us. Look down, and you'll see Andy and me and my granddaughter, Emily. We're standing there. Now, Emily is an adult as well. And they were waving at me.
Aww.
And I knew that, I thought that, I didn't really think that we were going to survive it.
Right, right.
And I didn't know what to say to my children, except that I love you. And I always have, and I always will. And, you know, it seemed to me like it went on forever when I'm sure it wasn't. Oh, I'm sure it was a long time, maybe an hour or more, possibly. And it was cold. Yeah. I just got out of that place because I couldn't breathe.
Oh.
And then the fire engines, the ambulances, the police. And I looked over and I saw one and I think two firemen cross over, not inside, the balconies themselves, 10 stories high. Now these firemen were angels dressed in black and yellow. Got to me this way over the railings and said, we're here. Oh. You're going to be okay.
Oh. Wow.
And then they turned around to see about the man next door. And a fireman came to my sliding glass door. And he said, ma'am, I'm here. He said, follow me. Okay. And he had a flashlight and got me to the stairwell, walked through the door with me. He asked me if I was able, and I said yes.
Okay.
And he said, then I'm going to go back in and see about someone else. There are two very quick stories that I would dearly love to tell you.
Okay,
one was a police officer. The place had police all over. A woman had fallen on that stairwell.
Oh.
An elderly woman. And she couldn't make it. And my impression of him was he was not a very big guy.
Yeah.
But he picked her up like a baby. And he carried her down every one of those flights of stairs. That's my two. Now, those angels also were police officer black.
Wow.
And the EMTs. The place was surrounded by these people. Now, one police officer said to me, as I was going down, ma'am, are there more people up there? And I said, yes, I think so. But you cannot go up. You've got to have a mask. And he looked at me, and he took those steps 2 at a time to get up there. He didn't have a mask. There was no protection for the police officers. And yet they were all over that building. Daughter Jolene and my son Andrew Barrow.
Wait.
They gathered up coats, sweaters, blankets, and socks. They headed back over there. Those old folks are out there freezing.
Aww.
There's nowhere for them to go. The kids, my kids, covered them and put those socks on these old people.